Rod. Wait a minute, hold on. We got problemos. Give me 1 second. Okay, now we're good. Unfortunately, like always, we do have some technical difficulties, man. I do apologize to everybody that's been waiting in the stream. This is the Fin Out of Water Football Show on a rare Wednesday and on a rare New Year's Day, man. Rod, how you feeling, baby?
And first and foremost, man, happy New Year, my brother. Happy freaking New Year, man. It's 2025. Happy New Year to everybody in the stream, everybody who gonna watch this. Obviously, y'all made the end of the new year fucking amazing for us. So, just thankful to start the new year doing this. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, we got plenty of football to talk about, and I'm feeling good, my boy. I'm feeling good. I mean, I'll get into some of my deeper feelings as we go on, obviously, about certain things in the state of Miami. But for right now, I'm feeling good, and hopefully everybody's having a good New Year's Day too.
Ultimately, that's what it comes down to, just right, isn't it? Having a good New Year's Day or
Yep.
whatnot. I know I'm having a good New Year's Day, even though I had to go to work. But hey, whatever, it happens. More and more places, more and more businesses are open on New Year's Day, bro, because capitalism is above everything else, man. So,
Oh, fun. Oh, quick little funny story, bro. So, we have a mutual friend who was asking me about mom making soup jumu. For those of you who are unaware, Haitians on the first, this is like our Independence Day. We have the squash soup. We call it soup jumu. So, I just assumed my mom was gonna make the shit. So, I told him yesterday, I'm like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? I'll pull through, I'll drop that shit off, you know what I mean? Man, next thing you know, so like, old girl came home from work this morning, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, she went to sleep. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I asked my sister, I'm like, hey man, when she gonna get up and start making the soup? She's like, she ain't making the soup this year. Herbie, man. I was hurt.
that's heartbreaking.
I was hurt, man. I
I
was
I
hurt,
feel
man.
I feel hard. I feel for you, my boy. Like that's just that got to be
I was
heartbreaking,
hurt,
dog. Like
man.
that is if you think you're getting the soup and you are ultimately led to believe that you're not. Oh, I'll take that back. If you're led to believe that you're gonna have soup and you have your eyes set on soup for the entire time, only to find out that that is not the case, my heart goes out to you, dog. Like you build your entire appetite thinking that you're about
Waiting
to get
for
some
it,
soup journal.
dog.
Like that's the
Waiting
whole
for
point.
it, man.
You build your appetite going the day before thinking about to get some soup. So, bruh, my condolences to your stomach, dog. My condolences to your appetite. This is heartbreaking, bro. Like, and
Man.
unlike you, I have a giant pot in the kitchen right now, dog. So I literally cannot relate. Like,
That's why I got the shades on today, Herbie, to hide
I
the tears, man. To
literally
hide the tears,
cannot
man.
relate to you
To
to what
hide the
you got
tears,
going on
man.
right now, sir. So my apologies to that, man. So because we are doing this on a rare Wednesday, and because I had to do work, so I apologize to everybody. I'm gonna keep periodically adjusting the camera, make sure that we're good to go and whatnot, dog. So right, it is New Year's. Do you have any New Year's resolutions that you're never actually going to commit to? Because that's what we do as an American society, man. We say we're going to do things, but we
Well,
never commit to it.
the funny thing was, Herbie, earlier last year, I decided that I wasn't going to wait until New Year's to start hitting the gym and just trying to be better. So, what I asked for coming into the new year was, I asked God, like, hey, what I'm saying, just keep me motivated, man. Keep my drive going. Let me get wisdom, man. Like people ask for a whole lot of things. I want more wisdom. I want to be able to make more wise decisions with my finances, in my love life, and with my friendships, relationships, with work, especially since I plan on like, opening up my company this year in terms of getting the LLC and become independent contractor. So at the end of the day, man, I'm just wishing for wisdom, bro. Like if I can get that, bro, that's all I need because I got everything else in motion.
Well, damn, you just popped the air out of my fucking balloon, dog. I was just going to say, man, shit, you feel me? I ain't got shit. I'm sorry, like you got like a great answer, and I was about to say, yeah, you feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Just another
that's
year, but I, man, my bad, dog. I think we had to double back on that, man. We are going two different directions. It's in 2025, obviously.
yeah, bro.
Yours is
Nah.
a much brighter future than mine, dog. I got tinted windows on my fucking future, man. Jesus Christ, man.
Oh
Oh
man.
man. So now that's our New Year's resolutions, man. Do you have any New Year's resolutions in regards to the Miami Dolphins and what you are looking to see for the rest of the season, sir?
Herbie, if there was, well, I don't know if it's as much a New Year's resolution as much as it would be a New Year's request. Man, Herbie, I don't care how the season ends, Herbie. I don't care how. I don't care if we lose to the. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't care if we lose to the
That'd be
Jets.
crazy. Don't
We
don't
we can't
don't don't
we
put that out into
cannot
the
lose to the
universe.
Jets, Herbie. We cannot
Don't
lose to
put
the
that
Jets.
in the
But
universe. Yeah, please don't.
but 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 here's the irony, Herbie. That result will most likely lead to my New Year's request slash resolution, which is get Chris Greer the fuck out of here, Herbie.
Oh,
Get him
okay. All
out.
right, all right, all right, all right. All right. We will get there. We will
I
get there.
stopped. That's why I stopped. That's why I stopped. That's
We're gonna get there, man. So on today's docket, this is a new year. We are in the year 2025. I'm happy to be alive. Rod is happy to be alive. We're both happy for good health. We're both happy that we got a really good Dolphins and Cowboys seasons, even though they potentially might not make the playoffs in both regards. It was still interesting, and even for the Cowboys, bro. As a Cowboys fan, bro, I got good content out of it. You know, that's all I can care. That's all I can ask for, dog.
that's all you can
You know
ask
what I'm
for, bro.
saying?
That's it.
You
That's
know, I
it.
learned new skills. We learned so much about what we want to do and where we want to go in regards to what we want to do with this podcast, what we want to do with the channel, and everything beyond that, man. So, um, my New Year's resolution, football wise, is one to tell Michael Parsons to just shut the fuck up. If he could just shut the fuck up. Just that's just one of my that's numero uno. Michael Parsons, please shut the fuck up. And two, to see a Dolphins team with a good offensive line, man. But we'll get to that. Before we can get to that and look all the way towards the future, we have to look into the presence, man. And the presence that we have right now, man, talking Dolphins. First up in talking Dolphins is Dolphins versus Jets, which is the preview, man. You guys have a date with the New York Jets. The New York Jets just got their asses kicked last week. The quarterback of the New York Jets asked to get himself out of the game. He just quit. He just said, fuck it.
He done. He should
This
just
is the
retire at this
team
point,
that
man.
you are going against. You have only one choice in this to make the postseason. Win this game. Unfortunately, you do not control your own destiny. And what makes matters even worse, the team that does control your destiny plays at the same time. So you have no idea what kind of results you're actually playing for.
The
Because you
NFL's so
both
green for
play
that. They're
you
so
both
green for
play
that.
at 425.
They so
So
green for that.
you could play a whole game and play your hardest and won't know if you guys not make the playoffs at all. You feel me? So and that's if it's a competitive game. Now, if Broncos are blowing it out from the jump, okay. Or they're getting blown out for the jump, okay. But the the more likely situation that is the Broncos and Chiefs are going to play a competitive game. So you really have no idea what you guys are playing for. So this is going to be an agonizing day for you on Sunday, Rod. I can already
and
tell.
here's the kicker, Herbie. Here's what makes matters even worse. It's the fact that Tua is probably not even going to play again. So this entire week and even the previous week, the Dolphins organization has been pretty hush hush on on like a re-aggravated part of Tua's hip that got injured. At first, there were reports it's a bone bruise, but they haven't really given us too much information. It's now being reported that Tyler Huntley is going to take most of the snaps for next week's game against the Jets. And let me say this, Herbie. This will be. I'm not gonna down Tyler Huntley because now that he's had some few weeks in the system, he is a manageable backup. Like I would be okay with him going into next season just based on his previous performance. Like I don't expect him to even perform like that against everybody because it was the Browns who are soft tanking with DTR. But he played well. You know what I'm saying? He was the star of the game, her, because the offensive line was so bad. See, it's funny because Tua makes the offensive line look way better than they really are. You really see how bad they are with a quarterback that can't get the ball out in 2 seconds flat. Like, you see how bad the offensive line is. And Tyler Huntley had to navigate that. And he has a different skill set than Tua. So that actually kind of helps with the game planning. Like, now we actually have a viable backup. And even with Tyler Huntley, Herbie, we should be able to beat the Jets. But the problem that I have isn't even that, Herbie. The problem I have is that our quarterback, who we just paid $200 million to this past offseason, and the 2 out of the past 3 off seasons where you're going into the playoffs with him possibly on the shelf. I don't know if they're saving Tua in case we make the playoffs. Like, I don't know. They've been real hush-hush about it. And they said it wasn't like a big issue. They say it's not a major injury. Like, Tua's not in any discomfort or anything like that. But it's just being reported that he is in danger of suffering a major injury. And I got to be honest, Herbie, because I've been one of the people who ride Tua. You know, when he plays bad, I give him shit. But for the most part, I know he's a good quarterback. He's a top 7 to 10 quarterback in this league, in my opinion. But Herbie, the injuries are starting to really fucking kill me, man. And I know you can't always blame somebody for that, but it's just like, we signed a guy who we knew was going to be hurt, which is why Tyler Huntley playing the way he did last week looms large, because at the very least, they're not committing to any kind of solid confirmations, any kind of concrete information. Everything we're hearing is rumors and little chitter chatter here and there. But it's looking like Tua might not play this Sunday, so we're gonna get Tyler Huntley against maybe a Jets team that might be motivated enough after getting the ass kicked last week to beat us, especially if they know if Tua's not playing. But
Okay, so yeah, I did read reports that Tua is not playing, and this always goes back to the injury when it comes to Tua, right? Like, it's always something. It's always something.
The Achilles heel with him, man.
It's always something, and it's just like, you guys take one step forward in regards to the progression, the progress when it comes to Tua, and just gelling as an overall team in the offense, and then you take 17 steps back, like, and now you don't want it. The injury that he has currently, right? You don't want to hear it. You missing 2 games because of a hip injury, like a hip injury,
dude,
from a guy that came into the NFL with a new hip.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That just scares you, Herbie, because he just got paid. You know what I'm saying? He just got paid. Like, that shit scares you, because it's just like, and that's the thing, Herbie, is that was the thing with Tua that I was most afraid of. His play was not something I was too worried about. It's that. It's the injury proneness. It's him just being an unavailable, unreliable quarterback, Herbie. And it's hard to call a guy a franchise quarterback who you can't depend on to be there when the playoffs are around the corner. Like, it's and listen, Herbie, I don't want to sound like an insensitive person, because obviously if the guy can't go, he can't go.
Of course.
But this is a recurring theme. This is not something like him being healthy for a whole year was a freaking outlier. And that and it can't be like that. It just can't.
All right, let me get a comment real quick, man. Cap, man, shout out to you, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Thank you for everybody in the chat, man.
Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New Year, man. So happy for this community, bro, that we're growing, bro. We appreciate that you guys are taking your New Year's Day with us. It ain't gonna be too long of a stream, so we don't want to hold everybody up, man. But we didn't do a stream on Sunday, so, and again, that's on me. I was out of town, so I apologize for that. So that's why I said let's do a stream today. So we just hanging out. You just talking Dolphins. You feel me? So that's what it's gonna be. And yes, bro, it is what it is when it comes to this injury in regards to Tua. You're right, bro. Like, this is one thing I've learned, and this is one thing I'm learning about the community. The community that we have is so much better at getting to the point. Like, I'm very long-winded. Like, I'm over here saying a million things, bro. When Cap just said it, bro, it is what it is. That's just facts. It is what it is, bro, when it comes to Tua injury, because it's like, what can you do? What can you do? He is unbelievably valuable because you see what the team is when he's not in the game. But how many times can you see this team without him? You feel me? It is a double-edged sword. Yes, your value increases by you not playing in the game, but your value also decreases because I can't trust you to always play in the game.
It's a terrible seesaw, man. It's a terrible seesaw.
It is awful, man.
It's fucking.
It is awful, man. But we're not here to talk about Tua. We're not here to talk about this upcoming Jets game. You feel me? Like, ultimately, what happens in that game, all you guys can do is play to the best of your abilities. It is not in your control. But what we can talk about, and what we can discuss, which is in control, and according to reports, might be what this team needs, might be a new direction that this team needs to go in. It is not set in stone by any chance,
Of
but
course.
the internet is talking, and the internet is talking, and the internet is asking this question: is Chris Greer safe? Rod, the way that you started this pod on, I don't think so, because you was ready to go crazy, dog. You was ready to go crazy, bro. So, there are reports according to Albert Breer, and I know Dolphin fans have a not the most or the best relationship when it comes to Albert Breer, but it is reported that the Dolphins are looking to go in a different direction, and only when it comes to GM. He also states that Mike McDaniel is safe. He was talking about the Dolphins. He was talking about the Colts, right? So now, if you go on the website, if you put in Chris Greer, all you see is Chris Greer might not return. Chris Greer might be fired. Chris Greer looking to not be retained by the Miami Dolphins. So, as a Dolphins fan, as a not so much Chris Greer fan, how do you feel about those reports right now, Mr. Rodman?
Well, listen, Herbie, I'll be honest, man. I don't really give the reports too much credence because Chris Greer has been a part of this organization for over 20 years, bro. And at the end of the day, he has developed a close relationship with Stephen Ross. I think him staying here is largely dependent on how we finish the season. And I could be right or wrong on that. But that's why I was saying earlier that, if there's anything good that could come from losing to the Jets and not making the playoffs, is that maybe it'll give Stephen Ross the push he's looking for in order to just give Chris Greer the boot. But when they report this type of stuff, man, like Ross to me doesn't seem like he's too upset with Chris Greer. If you ask me, like there isn't any concrete information on that. But what I am happy to hear though, Herbie, if these rumors happen to be true, what I was hoping is that if the Dolphins do decide to go in a bit of a different direction, I was okay with keeping McDaniel. And I know there's a lot of Dolphin fans who they're tired of McDaniel, they're done with McDaniel, but I would argue, or I would at least plea that we just give him a little bit more time, Herbie, because here's the thing. One of the worst things that we've done in the past 20 years is that we've been constantly recycling coaches. We have not been able to build a consistent culture in Miami. We have not been able. It's 3 years and then the coach is out. 3 years and the coach is out. Herbie, when you have no sustainability, there is no possible way you could build a long-lasting culture, a culture of winning. And there are some teams that might hold on to a coach 4 or 5 years before they get some real deal results. And at least with Mike McDaniel, he's a young coach. He's a smart coach. He still has a lot of growing to do, Herbie, especially honestly, first of all, McDaniel has to give up the play calling next year. He has to learn to delegate that to an offensive coordinator so he can focus on more aspects of the team. I'm done with Mike McDaniel calling plays. I know there's a lot of Dolphin fans out there who feel me. I know he wanted to try it out. He wanted to be Andy Reid, whatever. No, Mike, focus on being a delegator. Focus on being the manager of the team. I'm tired of him calling plays. Secondly, I think that if we do bring in a new GM, Herbie, he should give Mike McDaniel at least just 1 year. If Mike McDaniel, if we see some of the same problems persist with play calling, with clock management, with if we see just this that Mike McDaniel's just not getting it with making it in-game adjustments, like for the Texans game, Herbie, even Trent Green on the broadcast said it, and when I watched the film, I was pleading for it. There were so many, like the Texans were playing us so aggressive because they know that Tua is an anticipation thrower and they play on that. They were aggressive. They were jumping everything. So at the end of the day, it's like you're supposed to, the best way to combat that, Herbie, is hit him with double moves, right? And on film, there was a play where Tyreek caught Derek Stingley nasty, but Tua had gotten off the progression too quick. So it just ended up being a check down. But we needed more of that in the game, Herbie. We saw that they were being aggressive. They were jumping everything because they know the type of player Tua is. Tua's gonna figure out what part of the defense he wants to attack, and he's going there because that's his style of play. And they fought anticipation with anticipation. Mike McDaniel, as a head coach, especially if he's going to be a play caller, he has to do a better job of being able to adjust to what the defense is doing. He has to be able to read the floor of the game better. We see coaches that do this continually, Hervey. You see Kevin O'Connell do this with Sam Darnold. You see this happen, throughout Andy Reid's career with multitude of quarterbacks. Like the best coaches, even Kevin Stefanski, when he has someone who can manage the position, like. No, I know. I just wanted to make a case. Like, if we're gonna keep the guy, my point is on McDaniel, Herbie. Is if we're gonna keep him, he gotta improve. He gotta improve. But I'm willing to keep him and let go of Chris Greer, because Chris Greer, in my opinion, we're done with him. In 6 years, Herbie, what kind of identity does our team have? Like, what kind of identity has he really built for the
Your
Dolphins?
team has an identity. Your team has an identity. It's not the identity that you guys want, but you have an identity. It's a very small and fast team that is not physical. And you guys, in my opinion,
not a winning identity, bro.
It is not. But here's the thing, though. And this is where I will be fair to both Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer. The NFL is cyclical, right? It is cyclical. You guys built a team that could dominate 2 years ago. But what happened is everybody saw the market efficiency and said, oh, wait, we could run the ball again. All the linebackers are small. You feel me? Like, everybody's playing too high safety. Let's just run the ball. Let's beat it out of them. And because you guys got late to the party, you already missed that wave. And that's the problem. If you building towards something and everything just flips like that, the teams that don't change their identity and stay the same were the ones who had the one leg up on. The Eagles will always be a running team. They have the perfect team for this. The Ravens will always be a running team. They have the perfect team for what we're doing right now. And we're seeing that. The teams that always run the ball, the teams that always invest in huge linemen, the team that always want to play smash mouth or whatever, quote unquote, whatever the hell you want to call it, they were ready for this market inefficiency. They did what Bill Belichick always did. Bill Belichick always saw to get personnel based off of what he's seen the trend was going towards. When Bill was realizing that people were running the ball, he said, you know what? I'm going to attack the spaces. You don't have the linebackers that could cover all of these small, the Julian Edelmans, the Troy Browns, and stuff like that. Boom. When people started passing the ball, Bill Belichick said, hey, I'm going to start running the ball because you don't have the linebackers that can handle a fucking 260-pound LeGarrette Blount. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
What happened is you guys were building a team to attack defenses 3 years ago. And it just so happened that doesn't work anymore, bro. And I don't know if I could blame Chris Greer for that or I could blame Mike McDaniel for that. What we can blame Chris Greer for that is the offensive lines that he has ultimately put on the field since he's been a GM going back to 2016. And
Herbie, let me just put something in perspective.
No, go ahead.
And then I'll be real quick and you get back to your point. In the past 2 years, the one time that our offensive line had all 5 starters who were supposed to start and they played, we scored 70 points. The one time we had a competent offensive line where we had all the pieces who were supposed to play, we scored 70 points. The one time. Like all Dolphin fans have been asking for, Herbie, is to have good starters, depth, and guys who are not injury. Chris Greer is the only GM I can remember, Herbie, who loves signing injury-prone guys. Oh, you have a bad injury history, but you're talented? Come on down, boy. Come on down to Miami.
The Terran Armstead
get the fuck out of here.
That's the most egregious one. And he was never healthy with the Saints. What did you think was going to happen?
Never healthy with us. He's great when he plays. He's an all-pro when he plays. But Terran Armstead is at the point now to where his knee just gives out. Now, I was watching film on the last game, and Patrick Paul early in the game was getting his ass kicked by Myles Garrett, but he caught on as the game went on. I was actually okay with his performance by the end. Like, he had his welcome to the NFL moment early, but he stood his ground as the game went on. So I have some hopes for Patrick Paul. But this Terran Armstead doesn't even feel pain, Herbie. His knee just gives out. Like, the nigga knee just give out. Like, he needs to be blocking with a cane, Herbie. Like, that's where Terran Armstead is at. That's where TA is at.
Hey,
You know
bro,
what I'm
it'd be
saying?
so
Like,
funny. Obviously, I'm not here to poke fun. It's awful. I know he want to play, but it'd be funny if you ever watch it. Like you pay attention on the sideline when he's out, or like he just gets injured. He all mad and huffing and puffing. Like, dog, what you mad for, man? You do this shit every 4 games, bro. Like this shit,
that's what I'm saying,
clockwork for
bro.
you, dog.
This man, we ain't trying to see that. We ain't trying to see that act, man. You do this all the time, TA. You do this all the time. But
he be trying to make it seem like he like, man, I really want to be out there. Dude, no, you want to get paid to play 4 games, possibly 6 games out of a fucking 18 game schedule, bro. We get it, dog. That's what you want to do. You know what I mean? Your game time is on South Beach and Club Live on Sundays, bro, when you're injured. But it is crazy. It is crazy to consistently put out bad offensive lines. So 2 things are at play. Two, either this man has the worst eye for talent when it comes to offensive line play, or he has no idea how to put the infrastructure to get good offensive line play. And I have the numbers going back to 2016, right? Actually, this is going back to 2014. And again, he's been part of this. So we don't know how much of an ear, how much influence he had before he had the official title in 2016, bro. So this is going back to 2014. Unfortunately, I do not have years 22 and 23, but I have a year for 24. But again, it's not going to be that far off regardless, right? So this is, according to PFF, going back to 2014, the official ranking for the Miami Dolphins. 2014, ranked 30th.
For the offensive lines.
For the offensive line. 2015, 31st. 2016, 30th. 2017, 29th. 2018, 31st. 2019, 32nd. 2020, 28th. 2021, 29th. And then this past season, an offensive pass block win rate. That is a statistic from advanced stats from ESPN, which what a lot of people use nowadays. You guys are ranked 26th. It is almost impossible to be that consistently bad at offensive line play, dog.
It's
for 10 years straight.
Herbie, the numbers don't lie, right? Like, it's unbelievable, Herbie. And here's the thing that blows me, Herbie. It's like, you would think at some point, like, here's the messed up thing about it. Even when Chris Greer has acquired the right level of talent for the offensive line, it's never healthy guys. So the talent is on an hourglass, Herbie. And it's on a quick hourglass where the sand is just falling and falling and falling, like quicksand. Like, there is no, like, it's just, man, I just can't believe that we've had this guy for so long and he has yet to figure out that. I'm just sick of the weak-ass guys he has out being on our offensive line, Herbie. I hate watching Liam Eichenberg on film. I hate watching fucking Robert Jones on film, Herbie. Bro, I hate it. Herbie, I want guys like Isaiah Wynn got benched for an unnecessary roughness call. Fuck that. We need more of that, Herbie. We need the fat boys to be nasty. We got these weak-ass fat boys, Herbie, that be on their backs. They be on their backs, man, with their legs up, man.
Man, Cap, yes, man. 26. You guys ranked 26 in offensive pass block win rate. That means,
and that was last year, Herbie. A year we made the playoffs.
Like, no, that's this season. That's this season.
Oh, 2024 still.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter that this is where you guys are, right? And again, like, it is almost criminal to say that you have never, in our lifetime, in a decade. You know how long a decade is? I flunked out of high school and college. Well, I flunked out of college in a decade ago, bro. You know, I went back to school. I flunked out and went back to college in the past decade. That is, like, normally you get 1 year, just one. It's never happened for you guys as long as I can remember that you guys had a competent offensive line. Who is your offensive line coach, dog? Like, the structure is broken. Whatever they're teaching, whatever the nutrition is, whatever the weight conditioning, whatever the health program is, All of it is bad. Because remember, Laramie Tunsil was okay when he was here, and then he turned into Larry Allen when he went to the Texans.
All pro. An all pro tackle, bro. He became an all pro tackle. Actually, Herbie, it's something to be said about this organization where guys just go to other teams and they become better. Like Noah Igbenogany, I was looking at some stats, Herbie. Noah Igbenogany was one of the worst corners I've ever seen in my life when he was here. He's actually like top 5 in like passer rating against this year. Like when he's not, he doesn't play. He's not a starter, but when he's been in the lineup, he's been relatively good. So it's just like, according to the stats, I haven't watched
a coaching problem. You have to just. This is okay. Let's put it like this: who is the most famous player that was a former Dolphin who went on to be a fucking star with another team, bro? He's a short white dude that Welker, played wide receiver for 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Wes Welker. Motherfreaking Welker. Wes Welker has 2 career catches as a Miami Dolphin.
Bruh, Herbie, check this out. Ryan Tannehill, right, who was our quarterback for 7 years and amounted to nothing but average his entire time here. His first year starting with the Titans, he makes the AFC Championship game. Granted, it was Derrick Henry's team. He wasn't the driver. But with him at quarterback, another team with our quarterback that we had for 7 years, and maybe he didn't play a single playoff game for us, Herbie. He got us to the playoffs one time. He goes to the Titans, and then he makes it he loses to Mahomes, who everybody lost to. Okay? Like, my guy, like, it's just everybody leaves this team, and then they go off, and they find success, whether it's them, whether it's the team around them. It's just, man, it gets old, Herbie. It has
to get old. It has to go old. But ultimately, this is what it has to be. It has to be coaching, right? And again, we're gonna go down memory lane, and again, I would normally say, hey, man, this is not the kick his back in. We're not trying to make this the kick Chris Greer's back in episode. Yes, we are. We're trying to kick this guy's back in.
Kick him in, man.
Kick his back in. Like, he needs to be stomped out for this.
And listen, and Cap is saying some real shit, dog. 24 years, no playoff wins, bro. 24 years, no playoff wins. Like, bro, like, nigga, I think that's the longest drought in the NFL. Like, we are officially the team that has gone more than 20 years without a playoff win. And if we happen to make the playoffs this year, Herbie,
you guys have the record now?
As a team, we have the record for like the last time a team won the playoffs. Won a game in the playoffs.
No, Rod.
Yes. At least in the AFC.
The Jags have a playoff win. Oh, my God.
They made it to the AFC Championship.
Oh,
the
my
Browns,
God.
Herbie, the Browns, the Raiders.
Oh, my God.
Herbie, the Jets. Herbie, the Jets in the past 20 years have a playoff win. Not in the past decade. They haven't been to the playoffs in a decade.
Oh, my God.
But they even have playoff wins, Herbie. AFC Championship appearance. The Jets.
This is insane.
As a matter of fact, Herbie, every team in our division has been to the AFC Championship game in the past 20 years except for the Dolphins.
This is bad. That's heartbreaking, bro. Like, this, I didn't realize how dire it's been for the Miami Dolphins, a foundational NFL franchise, dog. Like, you guys have legacy. You have history, dog. Y'all not the Bears, man. Like,
might as well
like
be
the Bears, man. Y'all
might
got
as well
history,
be the Bears,
man. Like, yeah, come on, dog. All right, let's go down memory lane real quick, man. So what I got right now, and I got something in regards to Chris Greer, right? And it ranks all of his draft picks since he's been a GM for 2016, right? And boy, oh boy, oh boy, Lord. So let me go all the way to the bottom. And we just gonna go down memory lane, man. We got some names that I know is gonna make you laugh, dog. Bam. Here we go, man. And this is the ranking. Hold on. Let me get this fixed for y'all over here. All right, you can see it on your end, bro?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
Number 54, man. Your boy, man.
Just brought him up. Just brought him up, man.
Number 1 draft pick, 2020 draft, man. First round pick, number 30, man. Your boy Noah, man. Ranked last. This is, according to this website, Dolphins Wire, this is the worst draft pick in Chris Greer's tenure, bro. Like,
it's got to be one of them, Herbie. If it's not the worst, it's one of them for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
Oh, my God. We just going to go through some of these days, man. Talk to me about Leonte Coro. Do you even remember who Leonte Coro is, bro?
Leonte Carew, man. And yeah, Herbie, he was here and then gone, man. That's what that is, man.
Charles Harris, man. Come on, man. First round pick, Charles Harris, man.
And you know what's, and he's another guy, Herbie. Charles Harris for us was awful. He was one of the worst pass rushers I've ever seen us have. And he's gone on, I think he was either with the Titans or another team, maybe even the Lions. I think he might, I don't know if he's on the Lions this season, but even on the Lions, he's been able to get sacks and shit like that. For us, he was a complete lemon. But for the but for other teams, he actually he's another guy, Herbie. Just another guy that another organization found use for.
Hunter Long, man. Now it's 50 people. We're not gonna go through all these people, man. But yeah, Hunter Long, baby.
Another waste, bro. Herbie, I might have seen Hunter catch 2 balls, bro, his entire time here.
All right, man. We just gonna go zoom through, man. Is there anybody? Isaac Ashiata. I don't know how to say his name, man. He's a 5th round pick, man. Let's just zip through it, man. It's too many people to name. We can spend an hour talking about all these guys, bro. But Elijah Higgins, Skylar Thompson, man. Jesus, man.
Skylar, bro. And Herbie, Skylar is PU, man. I can't believe they held on to that motherfucker as long as they did.
I'm just looking at some of these names. It's like, none of these guys are standout players, dog. Like, I don't remember any of these dudes, bro. Like, they go right here. We were just talking about him. Liam Eichenberg, bro. One of the guys that was here. So, according to Dolphins Wire, man, 34th best player that he drafted. And this is round 2 pick. 42 overall, dog. Like,
disgusting. What a waste of a
Not only
pick,
is he missing, he's missing on high draft picks, man. Like, God. Damn,
imagine spending a 2 on fucking Liam Eichenberg, Herbie. Imagine.
Oh, man, I remember Cam Smith, man. Jesus Christ, dog. Like,
Herbie, they got Storm. Herbie, they get Storm Duck get more minutes than this nigga, man. He's an undrafted rookie, bro. He's an undrafted rookie, dog. He gets more minutes.
Oh my God, man! Like, he is bad at his job, bro. Like, your job as a general manager is 2 things, bro. Handle all of the in regards to what a team is doing, and then giving your coaching staff and your coach the best chances to see as far as drafting players, dog. And there's no stars anywhere here, bro. He doesn't draft stars. He doesn't draft impact players. Like, let's just skip to his top 10, right? So the best draft pick, and I looked at it before, is Xavier Howard. That's who they say is his best draft pick, right? Xavier Howard.
You could definitely make a case for that.
100%. You feel me? Second, Larry Tunsil. What does that mean, bro? You didn't even get him at his best.
Nope.
So what does that mean?
Minka's another one. Didn't get him at his best either.
Javon Holland. Bet you got Javon Holland. Cool.
But he's regressed.
He's on the Raiders. He's on the Raiders.
Yeah.
He's on the Raiders.
Van Ginkel's probably one of his other better picks.
Minka Fitzpatrick. He's on the Steelers. He's a 2-time All-Pro, multi-time All-Pro with another team. So what does that do you?
Didn't even get to enjoy it.
Robert Hunt.
Not on another team, Herbie. And you know what? He hasn't given up. He hasn't given up any sacks this year. Lo and behold.
Van Ginkel on another team.
On another team, bro. Balling for the Vikings.
Devon Achane. No disrespect to Devon Achane. Devon Achane can't be the 8th best player that you've drafted in 10 years.
Thank you. Thank you, Herbie. You see why he got to go, right?
He cannot be the 8th best player that you've drafted in 10 years. If Devon Achane is the 8th best player that you've drafted in 10 years, you do not need to keep that position. I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry, dog. This is impossible, dog. Like, Jalen Waddle is the 9th best player. Jalen Phillips is the 10th best player that you've drafted.
Hurt. Both of them niggas hurt. Both of them hurt.
Got you.
Oh Lord, he's not playing for us either. I think he's on the Bills.
Jerome Baker.
He's playing for Seattle.
Like, your 14th best player that you drafted as a kicker that won't be a Hall of Famer.
Who is Jason Sanders?
That's the 14th. That's the 14th best player that you've drafted. And this is where it gets like, at some point, Chris Greer's own mama got to say, "Baby, I can't defend you." Like, at some point, like, what is this?
Bro,
like, what is this? And let me go ahead and get some of these what's it called here, man. All right, Cap, we're just gonna run through some of the comments from Cap, man. It's true. If you remember Howard and T-Buck when they left Miami to New England, they won a Super Bowl. Facts. I want to say Ted Ginn played some playoff games with other teams too. He did.
Carolina.
He played with Carolina and stuff like that, man.
Yep.
And yes, bro, and this goes back to what Cap was saying earlier, man. It's only us, the Raiders, winless. Detroit is balling, bro. This is like, yeah, man. We could keep going, man. The name, it gets bad, Cap. It's bad, man. It's bad. It's bad.
Listen, if Jason Sanders is at 14, do we really need to keep going? That's the question I ask you, man. If Jason Sanders is at 14, do we really need to keep going?
Yeah, man.
Do we need to be depressed, man, going into a basically a playoff game, because that's what the game on Sunday is going to be, is a playoff game.
There's no defending this. At some point, like, this is over 20 years of this. 10 years, at minimum 9 years as a GM. The amount of impact players that you guys have not drafted in 10 years is alarming. The amount of impact players that you guys drafted who are impact players in different colors and uniforms is astounding. I have no words for this.
It's called Chris Greer needs to fucking go. That's the words for it.
Nah, facts, man. But again, we don't want to be too hard on the Dolphins. Ultimately, at the end of the day, for all the shit that we're talking and it's honest truth and it's honest shit that we're talking, you guys
playoffs is right around the corner, bro.
Still have an opportunity to make the playoffs, man. So, I wanted to talk about the rest of the NFL and a couple of things before we get out of here. We ain't got to spend too long on it, bro. We already almost at an hour as it is. So I got two topics, and I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about as well, right? But we're going to go ahead and do around the NFL. One of the topics I want to talk about is the MVP race, and then the other topic is I wanted to get your opinion on the news that Saquon is not going to be playing against the Giants, and he is not going to try to break Eric Dickerson's record. So, let's go ahead and start with the MVP race, man. This is my favorite MVP race because it pits a white man versus a black man, and the worst of America comes out when a white man and a black man is fighting for the same award, dog. Oh my God, bro! Like,
she gets heated, boy. Bro, on the TikTok, bro, I posted a TikTok about Lamar stats. Oh boy. Them Josh Allen boys came out in droves. Dog.
This
attacking me, bro.
This is nasty. Like, the only time it ever gets this nasty in sports discourse is when it's boxing, when Floyd is fighting a Mexican, bro. This is what it feels like. Floyd is fighting a Mexican. You feel me? I'm hearing all kind of N-words from one side and a hard R. I'm hearing all kind of C-words with a hard R on the other side, man. You
Crazy,
feel me? Like,
man. It brings out the worst in people, bro.
And the crazy part is, it's like, dog, they're both deserving. Like, nobody's getting robbed, man. Nobody's getting robbed. If the season ended today, Josh Allen would be my MVP. If Lamar Jackson wins a third MVP, I'm not losing any sleep because he's having an incredible season. He's having the third best season of all time according to passer rating, bro. Like, it's deserving. But you can't say one is deserving without the other fan base or whoever, right, coming down your throat. Like, this is such a microcosm for the world that we're in right now, which is you have to pick a side. Why do I got to pick a side? Hey, I'm cool with both. I like to dip my toes in hot water and cold water depending on the season, bro. Like, I enjoy both. I like blue. And I like sky blue. You know, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll tell you, Herbie. Listen, if it comes down to it, if you ask me personally, and some people might say I have Dolphin bias here, but Lamar to me deserves the MVP more than Josh Allen. Not to say if Josh gets it, I'm not going to be upset, Herbie, because he's had such a great season that it's, even as a Dolphin fan, I got to appreciate it at least a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I can't hate on the man too much, Herbie. But if you ask me, like, let's be serious. If any other quarterback was having the season Lamar was having, I don't even think, especially with the wins, like Joe Burrow, Herbie, is having an MVP caliber season, but because the team, he's basically Drew Brees this year. Like, Joe Burrow is Drew Brees. Drew Brees had years where he threw for 5,000 yards, 45 touchdowns, and the team was 7-9.
I want to say he's like 09 Drew Brees, where I think Drew Brees historically had the worst defense of all time, and I think they went 7-9, but he had 5,300 yard passing yards. And he was just incredible, but it didn't matter because he was putting up 40 points a game and his team was giving up 41, right? So yeah, and again, we're having, put like this.
We have 3 quarterbacks having incredible seasons, honestly.
We have 4 players having obvious MVP seasons at the same time. I can't, again, I would have to go back and pay attention and look. I don't ever remember that, right? But
a deep ass race like this, yeah.
We can't just enjoy it for what it is. We have 4 different fan bases ready to kill each other, dog. Ready to kill each other, bro. You can't say Josh Allen is MVP worthy, dog. They'll throw a stone at your head, bro. You can't say Lamar Jackson should get this MVP over Josh Allen, bro. People with Buffalo would throw snowballs at you, dog, and mud pies at you.
Herbie, you know what they say? Oh, because they're so salty. They're so salty about Lamar winning the MVP last year because they go, oh, when you bring up Lamar having statistically historical season, you hear the Josh Allen guys go, but last year's stats didn't matter. Last year's stats didn't matter. Why did it matter this year? It's like, well, it's not that the stats didn't matter. It's just that Josh Allen just wasn't the MVP last year. Did he have MVP stats? Sure. But he won a division literally at the last minute, Herbie. The Dolphins gave up the division to the Bills. How about that? We had a division all year. He wasn't even gonna be a division winner if we had no business.
Here's the thing, though. And so this is where it's ironic, right? Like, even us, you have a different MVP than I do, right? And again, I actually do think there's some truth to the, we can't go based off of stats. Lamar Jackson had 20 touchdowns and 5 picks last year, right? People will say Josh Allen had 18 turnovers. And that's why you can't use counting stats. He had a lower turnover-worthy play rate than his actual turnovers. He had like 6 picks that were bounced off of his receiver's hands, bro. So, like, you can't, again, the numbers don't always tell the whole story. But
hell, almost all of Lamar picks are tips this year. So, yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So, again, I'm cool with either way. But it's just, listen, guys. And again, this is a perfect point. It's a perfect point that I want to shout out Cap on. A co-MVP would be dope. That is the worst possible option, Cap. People are going to die if they give out that co-MVP, bro. They do not want this white man sharing the MVP with a black man, bro. We not there yet, dog. Martin Luther King, bro, I'm sorry, bro. We didn't get there yet, dog. We didn't get there yet, bro. Everything you fought for, dog, it ain't. I'm sorry, bro. And, so, yeah. And shout out to the boy Gerson in the chat with
shout
the homies, man.
Baby, man.
Lamar is having a historical season. There's not anybody who will ever. But the thing is, Saquon's having a historical season. Joe Burrow's having a historical season. Joe Burrow just tied I think he tied a record that Tom Brady had, which is 10 straight games with 3 passing touchdowns.
3 passing touchdowns and 300 yards or something like that. 250 plus, something like that.
That's
nuts.
Nuts.
Crazy.
That's nuts. That's nuts. Like, I'm just happy that we got to see, we're seeing elite quarterback playing. We're seeing elite football players in our lifetime, right? Mm-hmm. Forget who should win MVP. Forget all of that. I'm happy that I'm getting to see some of the best football players that I will ever see in my life. Mm-hmm. I was getting kind of nervous, dog, when we were drafting Sam Bradford and fucking Blaine Gabberts and all of these dudes, bro. It got pretty ugly. It was getting rough. I'm like, what are we going to do when Peyton and Tom and Drew and all of these dudes retire? Who do we have to look at? These guys are giving us the next generation of dominant superstar football players, dog. That's what I'm happy to see. And again, Josh Allen is going to get MVP, right? He's just going to get it, right? Like,
the narratives go his way, and that matters. Voter fatigue matters. A lot of other things matter, Herbie. Like Lamar already got 2. That's gonna factor into it. It's going to. Josh Allen beat Detroit in Detroit. He beat he's the only team that the Chiefs lost to. You know what I'm saying? Like those narratives, they go into play. He hasn't won one yet. He's having his best season statistically in terms of touchdown interception ratio, blah 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 blah. If Josh Allen gets a Herbie, I'm cool with it, bro. Like I honestly, I'm not gonna be with a pitchfork and pissed off. I think Lamar is more deserving. That's my honest opinion. But at the end of the day, Herbie, great players are just playing great right now. We should just be able to. The one thing I'm not gonna do anymore, I'll have my fun with it. But when I was younger, Herbie, I hated Tom Brady to the point to where it hurt me more than anything, right? Because he just kept winning, Herbie. Like no matter how much I wanted to say he sucked, he kept proving week in and week out he didn't suck. Right. And it wasn't until the Falcons Super Bowl where I couldn't deny the nigga no more, bro. I'm not gonna do that anymore, Herbie.
It took you 6 Super Bowls so you couldn't deny this nigga, bro, or 5. Which one was that? The 5th one or the 6th?
It was the 5th one.
It took you 5 Super Bowls.
Herbie, even when he beat the Seahawks, I was still on that Joe Montana's the GOAT. Herbie, I held on as long as I possibly could, but I couldn't deny him anymore after that 28-3 comeback. I couldn't. As much as I hated him, bro, I could after watching that Super Bowl, Herbie, I sat there just staring blankly at the TV, bro. I couldn't even hear nothing. Everything was just white noise, dog. I was just like,
right, I'm sorry, bro. And again, I get it because it's like you had double hate. There's people who hated the Patriots that just because they hated the Patriots, right? But and it's like I'm so used to growing up with people hating the Patriots, I forget the Patriots when you're in the division, you were supposed to hate them. So you had the natural internal feelings that you're supposed to have anyway. And then it just happens to be them. And it just happens to be Tom Brady. So, Rod, I'm sorry. That was a sad 20 years, man. I'm sorry, man. I feel for you, dog. I feel that's rough. That is harsh. 20 years of getting your back broken, beating in, bro. Oh, God, leave, man.
And watching them carry, hoist the Lombardi and the confetti, get the confetti shower, bro.
You had to watch this 6 times, 7 times. Depending on how you feel.
Nah, when he was on the bus, listen, Herbie, once he left I wish he would have left New England sooner, bro. You should have started winning some Super Bowl somewhere else, man. All right? He didn't have to win 6 of these niggas, man. And he wanted to stay, Herbie. He could have won. He probably... If the Bills, well, you know what? Bill Belichick basically sabotaged the New England Patriots to the point to where Tom ain't even want to stay. Tom was like, man, we're so devoid of talent, I can't do shit. So
Tom winning 12 games with that roster, man, making the playoffs with that roster, man, that's his finest achievement. But not to get too caught up on Tom Brady. Okay. All right. So I want to go ahead and move on to the Saquon part. But again, like I said, bro, I'm here for it. I love debates. I love how fierce it is. It just shows that how healthy football is that we have so many people that can make us feel this strongly about. But let's not get lost in it too, right? Like, don't say I'm going to quit watching football if Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson wins the MVP, guys. We don't got to take it there. It ain't that
childish. That's just childish behavior, bro. We're too grown for that.
It ain't got to go that crazy, man. And Cap, man, you are 100% right. It has been a crazy season. It's been a very crazy season. And just to recap this season, man, before we get into the Saquon part. Matter of fact, we'll do the Saquon part and then we'll recap the season and talk about some of our favorite things or whatever, right? So how do you feel about the Saquon? Because when we started, we were talking about it in the discussion, I was under the impression that he was going to go break the record, right? And then closer to when we were supposed to start recording it came out, the news is that he's not going to play. They're going to rest all of their starters. And I ain't going to lie, I'm kind of bummed out about that, bro. Like, I wanted to see history. I remember how it was when Michael Strahan broke the sack record, right? And again, yeah, he got a free one. Yeah, Brett Favre just fell to the ground, but it was cool. Like, you got to see history. Like, that's super dope. Like, you know that you were a part of something, right? Like, I didn't get to see Eric Dickerson break the record, break O.J. Simpson's record. You feel me?
Right.
And I think it was 1983 or whenever it was, right? I was
1984.
there. Okay, 1984. I was there in 2012 when Adrian Peterson had the opportunity to break it, and
He tried.
he tried, but his stupid. I fucking hate these coaches, dog. Stop making it about you. Shut the fuck up or whatever. I think it was Chad Childress or whatever, Brad Childress or whatever.
Brad, yeah,
who,
I think, yeah.
who was like, oh, we thought to take him out because, the game was in hand and we wanted to kick the field goal. The dude had like 6 yards to go, dog.
Ridiculous.
The record is 2104. Adrian Peterson finished at 2097. Let him go get that fucking record, man.
Unbelievable, man.
Like,
unbelievable, man.
Like, he deserved to go try to
that
have
shit.
the opportunity to break that record. Saquon has deserved the opportunity to break the record. And again, I get it, bro. You don't want to risk it. It would be awful if this man tears an ACL, bro, trying to go for a record in the meanest of the game against the Giants of all people. But I don't know, man. I just wanted to see history, bro. So I'm surprised. How do you feel?
I can say that I don't know. I'm indifferent about it. Like, I wasn't too crazy about seeing the history of Herbie just because I get the mentality that they have about it, and especially Saquon, because I'm sure it's his decision. Like, if he wanted to do it, they would have done it. But I guess the Eagles are just looking at the bigger picture, Herbie, and I really can't fault them for that. It would have been nice to see history, and against the Giants, he definitely could have broken that record. All he needed was 100 yards, maybe less than that.
101 yards. Yeah, 101.
You know what I mean? Like he would have, he could have. But I the Eagles right now, I think for Saquon and their organization, for them, and especially Saquon, instead of him breaking the record against the Giants, he wants to get a Super Bowl on the Giants' head. To Saquon, that's even more important. And I know I know that's some shit you don't want to hear, Herbie, but with the injuries to Detroit's defense, I think the Eagles are the best team left in the playoffs, bro. Like, in terms of in the NFC. Like, they are.
Make me barf, dog. I'm gonna fucking throw up. Hey, what are you talking about, bro?
Listen, man, that's what they wanted to do, man. They said fuck a record. We're going for it. We want to ensure a championship. Although I will say this, Herbie. When people are afraid to do things because of injury, I think to myself, well, he could have got injured playing the first game in the playoff anyway, right?
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, like, if I was Saquon, Herbie, I would have elected to play just to get the record. And then once I break the record, I'm out, right? Because I'm only in it for that. And he could have got that out. He could have got that in like 2 plays, bro, fucking with the Giants. But, at the end of the day, they're looking at the bigger picture, and I don't really fault them for it.
Listen, I don't fault them for it either. And again, to me, the risk, because it's like, dog, they wouldn't, bro. Saquon is at the point where he will never ever buy a beer in Philly again. Like, he's at that point. He is a Philly legend now, right? He goes out, he blows a knee, whatever. They wouldn't let them out of the fucking building, dog. They couldn't come back to Lincoln Field, right? So I get it. I understand it. And I'm not even being selfish. His own teammates said that they want to see him break the record. A.J. Brown said, man, I want to be able to tell my kids that I saw something historic. Right. So it ain't just me talking. You know what I'm saying? Most players want the record for themselves. They're egomaniacs by design. Like, they want it. They want to be the best. They want to have that to say, that's me. And I don't know, man. Like, part of me is jumping for joy, dog, because that's one less thing an Eagle fan could say, dog. But I'm a fan of football before anything, bro. And the fan of football and me, it would have been cool to see, man. But that's it, man. Yeah, but let's go ahead and get up out of here, man. Anything that you wanted to recap? You have anything that you wanted to say about the season in general? Like, your favorite moments for the season so far?
You know what I was thinking I was gonna save my like season end stuff for next week because I for this.
Okay, we'll save it. That's fine.
But I do have one thing, Herbie, because I didn't get a chance to talk about it. It's the only red zone thought I'm gonna bring up that I believe is relevant. The Dolphins making the playoffs is up in the air because we need the Denver Broncos to lose.
Yeah, you don't control your own destiny. Correct.
So, if there was a team, Herbie, if it plays out that the Dolphins don't make the playoffs, and I'm gonna speak from an objective football fan's perspective here. If out of all the teams in the AFC, that have a shot to get the 7 seed, I know everybody is rooting for the Bengals to get it. If the rest of the NFL, I'm a Dolphin fan. I don't want to lose to the Jets, but the rest of the NFL is probably rooting for the Jets, Herbie. They're rooting for the Chiefs and the Jets because there is a possibility we can get a Joe Burrow, Josh Allen matchup in the first round. And Herbie, I'll be honest with you. If the Dolphins lose, I'm okay because I'll only be okay with it if Denver loses. If Denver loses, we gotta lose. If we win, fuck Denver. They gotta lose too. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. But if it turns out that Denver loses and we win, hopefully Tua can play. I don't know. They're being real hush hush about what he's got going on. I'm like hoping that he can play if it's a playoff game because then it could be a game. But if worst come to worst, the objective football fan I know is hoping that the Bengals get in. And I'll be honest with you, Herbie. If the Bengals get in, I wouldn't mind, bro. I wouldn't mind one fucking bit because I would love to see a Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, first round, 7, and it would be a playoff rematch because the last time these two met in the playoffs, the Bills got embarrassed at home against the Bengals. Now, obviously, these are two different overall teams in terms of how they play, but Buffalo's defense hasn't been what they've been, and the Bengals defense has been terrible all year. So we could get ourselves one of the most wild shootouts in playoff history if these two guys link up. So that's just the only point I really wanted to throw out there, man. Like, if the Dolphins end up crashing out and not making it to the playoffs, please let the Bengals get in. Let's get Joe Burrow and Josh Allen in the first round.
Yeah, man.
Baby.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you. Obviously, I'm going to support the Dolphins. You feel me? Because we have a podcast about the Dolphins. So the longer the season that they have, the longer we can talk about the Dolphins and kind of do this fucking podcast. But nah, man. Listen, we all know, bro. Like Joe Burrow turned into 04 Peyton Manning. I don't know who this nigga is, bro. This nigga different. He's different. Like
he's been incredible. He's
different. Like. They want to say that pocket passing. No, bro. If you're great, that's what it looks like. That's what great pocket passing looks like, bro. Like that exists too, bro. It's just a lot of these dudes are not good at passing the ball, so they have to be mobile to compensate. He don't got to compensate for that, bro. He's showing you what Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, why Tom Brady was able to throw 5,000 yards at 44 years old, bro. Like, he's showing you, bro. So, yeah, he's balling, man. So, a great episode with you, my brother. Shout out to Cap, man. We love the community. We appreciate you, bro. You always here, G-Baby. Everybody that was in the chat, man. Thank you for everybody that was with us today, man. We'll see y'all Sunday night to recap the Dolphins-Jets playoff games and see if the Dolphins are in the playoffs or not, man. Deuces.